Live from Austin, Texas, with host Rosie Newberry. Local trends, shopping, and more. This is Studio 512.
Well, good morning, you guys. A story all about reclaiming your identity outside of an infamous relationship. That's what happens in Six, the musical, on stage at Bass Concert Hall this week. And joining us now is actress Emma Elizabeth Smith, who plays Catherine of Aragon. Good morning. How are you?
I'm so great. Thank you.
Of course, we're excited to have you here. So, okay, Six. This is such an interesting concept. If people are not familiar, kind of give us the skinny on what Six is about.
Yeah, so Six essentially is a pop concert retelling the story of Henry VIII's 6 wives. It is fast-paced. It is 90 minutes. You're in and you're out. And I like to say it's Spice Girls meets Power Rangers. Everyone is their own individual identity. The costumes are color coordinated and very individualized, which is super exciting. It is just a fun time.
My wife and I saw the show last night, and I think you just like said it so perfectly. Because what I love is we really get time with each character, which I think is interesting. You don't always get that in a show. Everyone gets their time to shine. And as I mentioned, you play Catherine of Aragon, the first wife. And so what has this role meant to you, and maybe what attracted you to this role initially?
I think her strength is really something I always go back to. She's known as the warrior queen, actually, and her costume is actually based off of an armor that was like during the time, which is really cool. And she just demands respect, and I've really found that in myself through this character. And I think every night having the weight of keeping the show moving forward and starting it off and setting the tone is really, really exciting. I've just loved doing the role. I think all of her scene work and the banter she has, especially with Anne Boleyn's character, is so fun.
It is fun.
She's just a good time. She doesn't play. She doesn't let a lot of stuff slide either.
And she's the one from Spain, right? Okay, so did you feel like did you do any kind of research on maybe what her background would have been like at that time to kind of get that Spanish influence?
I think mainly the thing is that her Catholicism was huge, and that influence and how Anne came in and really was shifting that. And that is the main thing that kept her so popular within the country, is that everyone wanted to be under the Catholic Church, but Henry wanted Anne more. But she was still remained the most popular by the people, which I think is a testament to her character.
Which I think is so cool. And to be able to stand in your own strength like that, I think is really huge. Now, I was talking to you about this before the show, but something I really love about Six is that it's an all-female cast and all-female band. So for you, what's that experience like? Because I was to be in your 20s and get to be part of that experience, I gotta imagine it's pretty special.
It's so different. It's so unique. And I think the intimacy of our companies, there's being 4 band members and then 10 total in the cast, including our amazing alternates. It's really cool to see not only all these different women stepping into these characters, but also what each person brings to the role when they step in, especially the alts who cover up to 3 different queens. Each one is just a totally different version.
3 different queens? That's crazy.
So I don't even know how their brains function. I really could never. They make the world go round. But it's really cool to have your moment and really share your story, but then also the importance of backing up other women and sharing their stories, and how we switch throughout the show in supporting each other through storytelling. It's really cool.
Tell me a little about prepping for the vocals of this show, because it is such a range, and you guys go from really high intensity to more kind of ballad-like, if you will, and everything in between. And as I said, everyone gets their own song, but then you also do a lot of backing vocals. It's it's a marathon, I feel like, of vocals for a singer.
For sure. It's so fun. I love the music. The music obviously is incredible. We have a music supervisor. Her name is Roberta, and she just works magic with us. A lot of it is about blending and listening, but we wear in-ears on stage because it is so loud. So we have raw feed of everyone's vocals, and fortunately it's mixed really well, so it sounds nicer to us. But it's definitely a cool way to switch between styles. But I have a lot of fun with it. I think when it comes to the preparation, I would say it really is about consistency and getting your reps in. That's what we call it.
Yeah.
Like, we drill the show. It is a machine. Once you get on the roller coaster, it doesn't stop. So,
yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Totally.
Well, because on top of the vocals, it's also very high intense dancing the
Totally.
entire time. Like, was that something that you were nervous about, or is like dancing like
for sure.
natural for you? Like, how does that kind of work? I guess.
I mean, I trained in dance in school,
Sure.
but singing and acting was definitely more so my comfort place.
Yeah.
However, like, this show has really pushed me to really fall in love with dancing in that way, which I never thought I would say.
Yeah.
And I think there's part with like being in the ensemble with it. Like, I love doing ensemble dancing.
Yeah.
Like, don't make me do it solo, but I love it. But it's funny too that like my song out of all the queens is like the one with like all these dance breaks. I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's been fun, but like I wore like a weighted vest in rehearsals because my costume is pretty heavy. So like training for that.
Yeah.
My costume also eats up a lot of like movement that I would have like in my rehearsal clothes.
Yeah.
So that was an adjustment, but yeah, the dance is super fun, and also a variety of styles throughout the show.
Right, but safe to say this role's probably pushed you outside of your comfort zone in a lot of
Beyond,
ways.
yeah. I mean, it really has pushed me in every direction, and yeah, that's where like building up my stamina for my song, because when I'm not singing, I'm dancing and like learning where and when to breathe and also being in plastic, you know? It's crazy.
Yeah,
it
lots
was
of things
crazy.
happening at once.
Totally.
Yeah, and I'm like not a multitasker at all, so that would be hard for me. Now, real quick, we know that you're a Texas State grad, so what's it like for you being back in Central Texas getting to perform?
It's incredible. I can't believe it. I used to walk on the treadmill at the rec in Texas State and watch Six and like just dream of being in the show. And so to be back here doing this show specifically, it really is so special. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I still pinch myself every day going to work that this is my life. So it's really a blessing. But yeah, I love it here. I'm so happy and I'm so grateful to see people from my program, see faculty, and just celebrate with them. And I get to go to San Marcos on Friday and hang out with the kids.
That's so exciting. Well, it's a great role that you play. It's a great show. Emma, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And you have until Sunday to see the show. So for more information and tickets to Six, visit BroadwayInAustin.com. Trivial Pursuit is back for a brand new season and is a part of the CW's Game Night lineup. So joining me now with everything you need to know is host and executive producer LeVar Burton. Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, Blake. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. So, LeVar, let's just start with this. What excites you most about this new season of Trivial Pursuit? And how would you kind of say the tone and pace move throughout the show so the viewers can really get excited for what to expect this year?
You know, one of the things I'm most excited about is season 2. You know, season 1 was very, well enjoyed by the audience. But I felt on a personal level, I was still getting to know and learn the game. This season, I'm much more comfortable at the podium, and I feel like I'm able to be much more of myself. So I'm more relaxed, I'm more comfortable. The contestants are fantastic. They come from all over the country, and they're great. I mean, a lot of them play pub trivia, they practice, and they're knowledgeable. I say at the end of every episode, Trivial Pursuit, where knowing stuff is celebrated, and that's important to me. You know, we are all educators in my family. My mom, my elder sister, her 2 daughters, my nieces, my son. If you're a Burton, you are in the education business most probably. And me, I've just taken a little sidestep to show business. But I definitely believe that all TV is educational, Blake. The question is, what are we teaching?
Yeah, what are we teaching? Yeah,
I've tried to use the airwaves in a very positive manner for almost 50 years now.
Yeah, and you have, and thank you for all that you've done as far as educating goes on television. Now, hosting a game show would be such an interesting job to me because you're kind of doing this dual role of, being a comfort to the contestants, right? But you also kind of have to keep the authority throughout the game as well. So how do you go about keeping the balance while you're hosting these episodes and these games?
I think that balance lives naturally inside of me. The thing that I'm loving most about hosting Trivial Pursuit is I get to be myself, and there's a real familiarity, I think, between most of the contestants and me. They for the most part grew up watching me, and I love it when when they come in and we meet, and sometimes they get a little misty-eyed, I get a little teary. It's a lovely thing. But I think in terms of being the host, it's not an easy job, but because there's so much to it. But I love it. It demands a lot of me.
Yeah, I love that. And it keeps you going, keeps you active, which I think would be like a fun role in a way. So obviously we don't want to give too much away, no spoilers here, but anything you can kind of tease for us about this new season's contestants, maybe any twists that are being introduced into the game.
Any twists that are being introduced into the game? Well, it's pretty much basically, I think it's a great translation of the board game to a television show. But in terms of twists, I think for me the biggest twist is I'm just a lot more relaxed.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. I like that. More relaxed, so we're excited to see kind of how that plays out. Now, as I mentioned, Trivial Pursuit is now part of the CW's game night lineup, paired with Scrabble, hosted by Craig Ferguson, who we know and love. Now, how do you see kind of Trivial Pursuit complementing Scrabble in this new game night block?
Well, first of all, Craig Ferguson, hello. The man's one of the funniest human beings on the planet. I think these two shows work well together. Scrabble is all about words and letters and words and putting them together, and you have to have a certain amount of acumen in order to win at that game, to play it well. And I think the same is true for Trivial Pursuit. You're gonna know some of the answers, you will, and you're gonna not know some of the answers. But at the end of the episode, at the end of the game, you're gonna have learned something. And I love that about our game.
Yeah, I love that too. Like you said, bringing that kind of educational piece into television. Now, you have had such a long-standing career, kind of as you mentioned. So when you look at, just kind of your career, how do you see this show fitting into, just the thorough line of your career and everything that you've done? And because I know the education piece and the curiosity piece is really important to you.
Yeah, I see Trivial Pursuit is absolutely in alignment with that which I am known for. I'm a huge game show fan, have been for a long time, and I'm proud to host Trivial Pursuit on the CW. I'm having a blast, and I want you and your family to come and enjoy with me.
Yeah, well, LeVar, thank you so much for your time this morning. Season 2 of Trivial Pursuit airs Thursdays on the CW, premiering on January 22nd. Don't miss it. Thanks, LeVar.
The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by KIPP Texas Public Schools. The KIPP Texas Student Lottery is coming up. Eliana Rios, Senior Director of Student Recruitment, is here to tell us more about what makes KIPP Texas so special. So, Eliana, first question, tell us about KIPP Texas Public Schools.
Absolutely. So, KIPP Texas is a free charter open enrollment school. We are a network of 45 schools serving 32,000 students pre-K to 12th grade. And also we have schools across KIPP Texas. Here in Austin specifically, we have 5 schools.
What makes KIPP Texas different than maybe other public schools?
Yeah, that is a very good question. I have 3 top things on the top of my mind. The first one, it is that at KIPP, we do have experience. So KIPP has served Texas for over 30 years. So, and we have demonstrated through our schools the impact of high quality education has on improving high school graduation rates, college admission rates, but ultimately the positive impact in our communities. In KIPP Texas, we see our students as a whole person. So we do understand that academics is really important, is essential, but also we recognize as well that the emotional well-being of our students is going to support the student success. last but not least, we offer free transportation, free healthy breakfast and lunch for all our students, no exceptions. We have an array of extracurricular activities, athletics, and much more.
And tell me about your 2025 results, because you guys are doing well.
Yes, very, very well. We are really proud of our students. We have a 99% high school graduation rate. And also we are working really, really hard to have and to deliver it a strong academic program in all our schools.
So tell me, how can a child become a KIPP student?
Sure, so our lottery is around the corner, and any student can apply to be a KIPP student. In order to get enrolled, so families must submit an application. That is our process. At the deadline is January 26th. And the lottery is going to happen on Monday, February 2nd of this year, the 2026. If the families are deciding to submit the application post-lottery or post the deadline, it's okay. We continue accepting applications. However, they will be placed on our wait list. The order that they are going to get is based on when we are receiving them. Visit our website, kipptexas.org.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Eliana, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Learn more and apply for the lottery today at kipptexas.org. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by KIPP Texas Public Schools. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by the Bugmaster. As the weather cools down, we are not the only ones seeking warmth. Rodents start looking for cozy spaces too. Dauphin Ewert, CEO of the Bugmaster, joins us with smart tips to keep them out of your home. Okay, why is winter the most important season, Dauphin, for winter prevention?
We see a lot more problems pop up in the winter, but I think it's commonly because it's a time when we get into spaces that we wouldn't normally get into. You get into your attic, you get into your storage rooms, you kind of go through areas of your house that you're not normally in, and it's when you're noticing problems. I mean, we do see some moving indoors as the weather changes, looking for shelter, looking for warmth, things like that. But a lot of times those were pre-existing things.
Oh, okay, all right. It means we need to be vigilant. All right, what areas of home are most vulnerable in the wintertime?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. And the way I think of it is, what areas do we most commonly see problems? So attics are a really common area that we see activity. Not all homes in Texas have this, but some homes have crawl spaces. You might see activity there. And then the other places that probably wouldn't be a surprise to anybody would be places where you have stuff that they'd want to eat. So your kitchen's really common. One thing that a lot of people don't necessarily think about, but it's a big deal, is pet food, right? So if you're leaving pet food on a back porch in inaccessible areas, that's also the exact type of food that these kind of animals like.
Any winter-specific steps homeowners should take now to help prevent rodents, just in case there isn't an issue yet?
So we always recommend just paying attention to some of those habits, right? So if you know that you're leaving food out, if you can limit the amount of that kind of stuff that you're leaving out, whether it's pet food, if you can, feed a pet and then take it up, or pay attention to your trash areas, make sure those bags are sealed and they're in a closed container. Any of those things can kind of help you a little bit.
So how does a professional approach differ from, for example, what a homeowner can achieve themselves?
Yeah, so, I mean, a lot of the things they're really small details. And as a professional, we're really trained to look at the home in that way. We kind of notice what the highways are and what the entryways are. And we have a good sense of how to seal it up and make sure that those are addressed before you have them being used.
Which homeowners are not used to, but the professionals are.
We are, yeah.
Dauphin, thank you.
Of course, thank you.
To start a quote with a quick response time, go to thebugmaster.com or call the number on your screen. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by the Bugmaster.
Bert Kreischer is back with an all-new sitcom on Netflix called Free Bert, premiering on January 22nd. He joins me now. Hi, Bert. What's up?
I'm coming to Austin tomorrow.
I know, and I'm pumped.
I know. I'm excited. I'm there for the weekend, and then I come back on the 26th.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, you're just hanging out with us, I guess, all weekend. So,
Oh, buddy, I got the Stoic. What the Stoic? I'm doing with Ryan Holiday. I'm going to
okay,
get my blood work at Ways to Well. I'm hanging out with Rogan. I got a weekend planned.
you're booked and busy. I love this. Well, Bert, why don't you give me just a little bit of an idea of what Free Bert is about?
Free Burt is a fictionalized version of my life. It's about a period of my life where I kind of lost myself a little bit. The girls were complicated. Georgia was getting older. She wanted her autonomy. I still wanted to hold on to her a little bit. We were at a new school and it just kind of everything blew up on me. And I think I lost myself in the process. And even with uh, stand up and taking my shirt off and who am I and what am I doing? And I was kind of lost in my career at the time. And then it was about me finding myself. And so it's all of that period, really 2016, 17, crammed into 6 episodes.
So this is interesting because kind of as you said, a lot of people know you as this very happy-go-lucky kind of over-the-top personality. And so why was it important for you now to maybe hone in on a more serious topic or phase of your life, but in a still a way that felt true to you?
I think that I've done so much in my specials of like talking about my kids, talking about my family. And I got to be honest with you, I don't talk much about myself. I tell stories about everyone, and then I'm a part of that story, but I'm never really telling you about how I feel. I think I did that a little bit on podcasts, maybe too much, but I definitely cried too much. But I think it was important to show the dad's journey in raising girls and feeling like an outsider. A lot of times dads got to put on a cold front and be like, "No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm so happy to be in this new school." When you're also nervous and have anxiety and you don't know anyone and you don't have any friends. I mean, dude, it is so hard to make a friend at 50 years old.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to incorporate a little bit of that in there too, and show all my flaws and along with my family's flaws.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for people to get to check that out. Now, as you mentioned, you will be in Austin on the 22nd and 23rd performing live at the movie theater with permission to party. So kind of give our viewers an idea of what to expect at these live shows.
So this is my new hour. I'm going to be recording this for Netflix in probably 2027. And look, both my girls are in college. Leanne and I are empty nesters. So it's a little less of the family stuff. If you want that, watch the TV show, and a little more of just life, of like a little more relatable, not about, my daughter did something silly. She did, but she's in a different city now.
You talked about kind of the shirtless bit of it all, right? How did that come to be? Because that's probably how people know you best.
I honestly started doing it to remind myself that stand-up should be fun. I would go on the road. I wasn't selling any tickets. I was making $1,300 a week. Half of that went to managers and agents. And I was angry. A Thursday night in Dayton, Ohio, and there's 75 people in the room, and it's not getting better Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And I was just like, I don't want to be here. I want to be home. I want to be with my kids at a softball game. And one night, the manager gave me a 6-pack of Heineken and a bucket, and he goes, "Try to have fun." And I heard that, and I went, I should have fun. I should have fun. This is the greatest job in the world. And so I went on stage. Black Betty was playing by Ram Jam. I ripped my shirt off. And from that day to today, I've been ripping my shirt off. It's been 15 years.
Yeah. And it's one of the greatest bits of all time now, which I think is incredible. Now, as I understand, last question for you here is, that you were quite the partier in your college days and you were kind of recognized for that as well. Did you ever envision that period of your life would kind of help you kind of blossom into this wonderful career that you've had all this time?
Never. I would be less shocked if you told me I was an astronaut. If you could go back in time and tell 25-year-old Bert, just so you know, you're gonna be the first man on Mars, I'd be like, for real? And then it's either that or you'll be headlining arenas around the country and you'll have your own TV show on Netflix. You'll have done a movie that's streamed #1 on Netflix for a month. Just so you know, that's gonna be your life. And your friends are not gonna be these guys you're hanging out with now. They're gonna be the funniest human beings in the world. And anytime you're around them, you're going to die laughing. You're going to be married to a fantastic wife who's your ride or die and has your back and will produce all your stuff. And your daughters and you are going to have an amazing relationship. And one day you're going to be promoting your show on Netflix and you're going to be walking through Central Park and your daughter's going to call you at 6:30 in the morning going, "Hey, Dad, how you feeling this morning? And I'm worried about your blood clots." And I go, "God dang it, Isla, you love me." I'd be less shocked.
Yeah, I mean, what a beautiful life, what a beautiful story. So, Bert, thank you so much for your time this morning. Free Bert on Netflix, January 22nd. He'll also be live at the Moody Theater here in Austin. So check him out. Thanks, Bert.
Thank you, brother.
She is a friend of the show and a pro in all things travel. She's here to share her Texas travel bucket list, something handy for 2026. It's Adina Anderson with Travel Life, pardon me, with Adina and Creative Lifestyles. She's so busy, it's hard for me to keep her brand straight. Adina, good morning.
Good morning.
Lovely to see you.
Texas is big. And
Yeah.
it is a great place to travel. You get all seasons here. You get all demographics. You get everything here. But you really want to plan it if you're going to do a Texas trip.
Yes, I have been driving out to far west Texas in the middle of 107-degree heat and thought to myself, there's not a gas station for another 60 to 120 miles. I need to make sure that I'm planning accordingly.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yes,
you can get yourself
definitely.
in some trouble. I want to know how you made your travel bucket list, though. How'd you go about it?
So I've been to a lot of places in Texas, and I picked my top 5, 6 different places, but I also picked things, like my little list here that you can get on my website. Places and things that you want to make sure you do when you're there. So you come to Austin for the weekend, and there's a million things to do here, but what are the hot spots and the hot things and the must-dos that you want to do when you go to a place?
Absolutely, because it can be a little bit overwhelming, especially if you do go to one of our big cities. It's like, I can't do everything in one weekend. So how do we whittle it down? Okay,
Yes.
Your first stop is Jefferson, Texas, which I actually don't know where that is.
I know, and I just learned about this place. I was on a trip on, it's East Texas, so
Okay.
it's just a little bit kind of east of Houston, north, like Beaumont area. It's close to Caddo Lake, which we're going to talk about as well. It is a very historic town. I mean, there's so much history there. I'm going to go back and spend time. I spent like a half a day there and was just enthralled with this place. It's the history there, the
It's
stores.
cute.
It's such a cute, and they do big festivals. Like this was during Halloween, so they had a big Halloween thing going on. They do a big Valentine's. The whole community gets involved, which I love, love, love that. And they have a Bigfoot on their trail, which I thought was kind of cool. But they have that's a cupcake place. Like you just go to this little truck and it's a cupcake, and that's part of the trail. There's Bigfoot. And so it's just a neat town to get out and explore, and it's close to a bunch of other things that you can do. So you could stay in Jefferson and maybe go check out Caddo Lake at the same time.
And I love anything that's accessible from Austin.
Oh yes,
so
definitely 2.5 hours maybe.
Let's talk about Midland. I'm surprised to see that on this
Okay,
list.
so I fell in love with Midland years ago, but now there's this big TV show, The Landman, which is based on
course.
Midland in Odessa area.
My husband is watching it every single. He's not
Oh, yes.
including me, by
So
the way.
addicted
He's
to it.
watching it every single day.
But it is West Texas, right? So the drive out there, and that's the reason I put this little part of the video in. This is the drive out there. There's not a lot to see, but what's cool about heading out to Midland is that you kind of have that time to listen to music and think and just really enjoy the moment. And the food in Midland, I was so surprised. It's so good. They have such a cool downtown and a downtown scene, some great hotels, and it is really kind of one of my hot spots to visit this year.
I am surprised to hear it, but I'll put it on my list. Okay, you did say you wanted to mention Caddo Lake. Let's bring it up.
Yes, fell in love with Caddo Lake. Did the boat ride. You have to do the boat ride in Caddo Lake. So it's on my website where to check out. It's a couple different ideas, but the drive out there is beautiful. This is
my
the boat.
gosh.
Get a guide to take you out. It is such an amazing ride out through the cypress trees and the wildlife out there. The bird watching is absolutely amazing. You can kayak out there if you're brave enough. No, it's actually not.
I'll be with the guide.
Yes, but they've done movies out there. That little house there was like an old bar that you could. Part of Caddo Lake was a dry community. The other half wasn't. So they would sneak across to have, so there's so much history there. And it's just a really cool part of Texas and East Texas to check out. I just absolutely love Caddo Lake.
I think that is really fascinating. Those pictures are just gorgeous.
I didn't want to leave. And the food too, the restaurants are great there.
I'd
So
love to
definitely
hear
hit that up.
Okay, Pedernales Falls.
Which is kind of close to here.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes, if you want a great day of hiking. Now the falls aren't falling like they usually do because we are sort of in a drought. but it's a great place to get out, explore, bring the kids, check out the water. It's great hiking. You can hike through all the rocks there. You can.
That looks
people
beautiful
are swimming.
too. Yeah. Sometimes I'm surprised at what Texas has to offer. Do you know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, I wouldn't have expected this.
Yeah. So this is kind of part of the falls, right? Like when the water's really flowing, which we have some rain coming. They say where the El Nino, whatever. We will get some rain. So that's usually covered in water. But what's cool is it's not right now, and you can hike all through that.
Wow.
So that is a really cool place to check out this year.
Oh, I love it. That's really interesting. Okay, and then Big Bend.
My favorite.
As I was just saying, I have driven out there before. It's lovely. But to me, it looks like a totally different planet. I mean,
really
it does not feel like you're still in Texas.
Yes, we call it the Grand Canyon of Texas for a reason. It is a Grand Canyon. I mean, it is just, what's cool is you can drive. Oh, I'm thinking Big Bend. I'm sorry, I'm thinking Palo Duro. Yes, Big Bend. Yes, sorry, West Texas. Got the brain going on something else. One of our only 2 national parks is Big Bend.
Yeah.
So that's what's cool. I stayed at the 10 Cup Ranch, which was right on the edge of Big Bend. Caught
That's
the
a lovely
sunrise. It's a really neat, it was like, I don't know, under $200 a night.
That's not bad.
You're in the heart of everything. And the food there, oh my gosh, Terlingua, you got some great food going on.
I had just pure tacos out in Terlingua, and they were so good.
Yes.
You know?
But we caught the sunrise. There's nothing better than a West Texas sunrise, I say, or a sunset in West Texas. And we caught the moon and the stars. I will say, if you're going to go into Big Bend, have snacks, have water, especially if you're going to hike. You know, grab your water bottles, have extra water in your car. There is a little store up there, which you can get some munchies and stuff, but always be prepared when you're going into a desert type area, no matter what time of year, because you'll get snow, you'll get hot, you'll get cold. You just don't know up there.
That's a really good suggestion. And I remember seeing, is it possible that I saw bear signs?
Yeah, we have black bear.
Yeah.
And there are a few mountain lion sightings up in that area. So you definitely want to be prepared. I always say, if you're going anywhere that there's any kind of possibility of bear, take bear spray. I hike a lot in Glacier and Yellowstone, but in West Texas, we have them too.
You've got such a cool life. Thank you. Okay, I do want to talk about sharing a fun way to keep track of travels, kind of with a little checkoff list.
Yeah, so I created my Texas bucket list, but another thing you can do is just get a notepad. You know, if you don't have this, or maybe there's some other things, my biggest tip is go prepared. Do a little research of where you're going, pick out a few things, but always ask a local when you get there, because you might want to change up a restaurant, what's popular. Breakfast, I always ask a local. Lunch, I see where everybody goes. And dinner, I always make a reservation if necessary, because you don't know. You may show up and can't get in there because they needed that. So
post-COVID, I feel like reservations are key.
Yes, they are.
And then here we are, we're standing in January, but I know you've got a busy year ahead already.
I do.
Any fun plans you want to mention for us?
I'm training right now. I'm going to do the Mighty 5 in February, which we're going to talk about when I get back from it. I've got some Yellowstone trips. I got some Dakota trips. I got a big Texas trip coming up in April. So yeah, I've got my whole year planned out almost.
And it's all over the map. Boy,
all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm all over the country this year, because it's the 250th anniversary.
That's right.
Of America.
Of America. Yeah. A great year to honor our country.
That's
so
right.
Cool. Adina, lovely as always. Thank you so much.
You.
All right. For more information, visit travellifewithadina.com. That's where I'm guessing you can find that really cool Texas activities list, or follow her on social media at Adina Anderson. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Austin Telco Federal Credit Union. It is a brand new start to a brand new year. Do you want to create some financial goals for 2026? Pamela Cotton, Vice President of Member Services at Austin Telco Federal Credit Union, is here with some tips for success for us. So Pam, first of all, why are financial resolutions so important?
That's a great question, Rosie, because financial resolutions or goals, whichever you refer to, is so important. You're going to start talking about long-term wealth, how you're going to build your wealth over time. And then you want to track your progress. So manage what you're doing in saving your money as well. And then when you're saving money, you're going to improve your financial situation because you're looking at things that you want to do, like paying off debt, things like that. So it's going to put you in a great financial situation. And then when you're in that great situation, not worried about things, you're going to reduce that financial stress as well.
And I know that some financial stress might have gone up around the holidays. Maybe we shopped a little bit too much. So of course we want a fresh start on the year, and giving it our best. So what are some of the most common financial resolutions that you tend to hear?
Yeah, so the biggest thing, and I think the most important, is to create a budget. We talk about that all the time. Yeah. That's the most important thing. And if you've already started with a budget, now's the perfect time to review it, evaluate some things. Maybe your job changed, you got a raise, things like that. So you want to look at those situations and determine what you need to do in that budget. Invest in retirement. It's never too early, it's never too late. So you always want to start now. Start at the beginning of the year, it's the perfect time. And then debt, it's so important to not have too much debt. It's okay to have some, but pay it down, pay it off. That's going to put you in a great situation. It improves your credit score when you have lower debt.
Subscriptions, y'all. Check those subscriptions because you might be losing money.
So many that you don't need.
Yeah. Well, that's why looking over the budget is so important. Okay,
Absolutely.
What are some helpful tips that you would give folks to help them achieve their resolutions?
Yeah, so you want to set goals, first of all, and then small and large goals. So start small, because that way you can celebrate the little successes, and that'll put you in the position to get those larger goals in line. So definitely want to set the goals, track your progress, see where you are. So we say create a plan with a timeline. Track it. Did you overshoot? Do you need to step back a little bit? But you always want to track that progress because you want to set yourself up for success, right? And then celebrate along the way. When you're doing those great things, like you wanted to save a little bit, you did it, celebrate and continue to do that. Stay on track.
Some really great tips today, Pam. Thank you so much and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
To learn more about all of the services Austin Telco Federal Credit Union has to offer, visit atfcu.org. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Austin Telco Federal Credit Union. We have a lot of fun here on Studio 512. If you missed any of our great segments, be sure to check out our website where we like to post the fun things we do. Our feed covers content like arts and entertainment, food and drink, fashion and beauty, home and garden, stuff for kids and pets, as well as information from area experts. In addition, you can check out web-exclusive content that you can only find on Studio512TV.com. We also love to post behind-the-scenes funny moments, outfit inspirations, and more on social media. Find us by searching for Studio 512 on your favorite platform. You don't want to miss a single post. Be sure to follow us, check out our website, and watch us every weekday at 11 a.m. right here on CW Austin.
Content segments during Studio 512 were paid for by KIPP Texas, the Bugmaster.